What if we would use phoenixes for factory farming? This kind of questions I have is what I want to show in my art. Hi, welcome in my home studio here in Berlin, Alt-Hohenschönhausen. Hello, my name is Wadim Hermann. I'm an artist from Berlin, Lichtenberg. I was born in 1991 in Russia, but I am living in Berlin since 27 years now. When it comes to starting a new painting, I have different kind of concepts. Sometimes I'm starting with an old canvas. Here's an old canvas, and I'm just cutting it and stretching it over a frame. Oh, how did I get into painting? The beginning was in the childhood, the little Vadim, when he was like 6 or 7 years old. I was always fascinated by paintings and art, and especially people who could draw very good. And I guess when I was in the 9th or 10th grade, I started with origami. Like a brother of a friend has shown me this crane. I think that's a classic. And it was mind-blowing for me. It was so cool in my opinion that I've really wanted to be able to do the same. And then I've got heavily engaged in this thing. I was in school. I was like sitting in the classes and folding a lot of different things. And then after some years, some changes happened. Like I was always also interested in urban art, especially in graffiti. I think when I got to know my martial arts trainer, this was a big step because he was an artist. He was a graphic designer and illustrator. And like he was something like a role model for me. And I wanted to be as cool as he is. I think the connection between this urban art field, the origami, and the work of my martial art trainer got mixed, and I've started to do something in my own style. When I'm painting, I'm listening to music, because music has some kind of energy which is connected to the mood I have in this moment. But also I really like to listen to interviews of people who I think are interesting or are talking about interesting things. As you can imagine, being a painter is sometimes it's like you're a little bit lonely because you have to do it on your own and you're sitting alone in your studio and work for hours. And when I'm listening to these interviews, I have the feeling that somebody is around and I can like participate in this discussion without having to say something. Ooh, what do I like the most about painting? I think the very first step when I'm working is like when I'm having a canvas and just throwing some paint on it. I'm always calling it like this. I'm doing a chaos, and this is something like a meditation for me. I really enjoy this part because I have the feeling of being free. I think when a lot of artists are seeing this, they will hate me because it's really not good for the brushes what I'm doing and like putting all lemons, but yeah, sometimes I just don't care. But also as many people are recognizing my style, it's very often connected with these black lines and outlines, and this is one of the last steps, and this is really very nice part of the process for me as well. When I'm doing this, I have the feeling that I am able to structure the chaos, and this is very enjoyable. I think like for an artist it's really important to hear the feedback of people, and of course I'm really interested in hearing that. And in my opinion, a painting comes to life when somebody is starting to talk about it or to think something about it, because without this it's only something inside me, even if it's finished product like painting an art of peace. So yeah, I really enjoy it. Found out for myself, when I have too much chaos in the painting, I just make something like frames, colors, and then sometimes it works to tidy it up a little bit. Of course, not everybody is like super pro in the art field and has a lot of information about theory and techniques and stuff. Especially when it comes to abstract art, I think a lot of people are saying like, oh, everybody can do it, or it's like it's not this super realistic kind of painting. But yeah, to be honest, I can totally understand these people. It's not I'm getting mad about it. I'm trying to mix my colors every time, because when I'm doing this, actually, my martial art trainer and who's also an artist said that his teacher said that you have to do it because when you mix your colors, you make sure that nobody will ever have this combination again. And I like this kind of thinking. I guess for me it's important when people are interested in the art in terms of really asking questions, because this is what one of the most important thing for me about art in general, but also especially in my own painting. Describing my painting style in one sentence. My art style is abstract, surreal, expressive, urban art. Yeah. Sorry, with a deep connection to graffiti, animes, and tattoos. Yes, many people say that my style is recognizable. Like when people see my art, nowadays they can really say it's Wadim Hermann, and I really like it. But of course, I'm very often trying different kind of styles, and in my opinion, my style has really developed. I've mixed a lot of different kind of styles. Of course, and in the end, most of my paintings have this black outline, but since last year or something, I was also doing completely free works without any outlines. Since I have already sold one of these new kind of paintings for me, this gives me the feeling that it makes also sense for people. And I'm also working on concepts of sculptures, but I haven't shown these to anybody yet because they are not developed at this kind of point. Yeah, this is actually, I'm not getting paid by them, not yet, but this is my really favorite color. The covers all of Molotov. It's a really nice one. I'm always using it. I'm having this setup, like this one and this one. I'm refilling them myself, always. Many people are saying that this black kind of style I have reminds them of mosaics, and I agree with that because it also reminds me of mosaics or with stained glass, in churches and something, these big windows. I think this connection happened by accident. This wasn't the concept of myself. It happened. In my opinion, it's more connected to the forms of graffiti in urban art, because there you also always, when it comes to letters or more abstract forms in graffiti, you have this color thing inside and you always close it with these outlines. And you have the same with animes or mangas and with tattoos as well. And when it comes to a new painting, sometimes I have a particular idea, but it's never like I have the finished painting in my head. It's more like an idea or a chain of associations or something I think that is funny, or like a series of paintings. I really like to work on series, like on different kind of topics within different paintings. Sometimes I'm also use references like photographs. I have two different mobile phones, like a smartphone and one of this very old phones with a 2 megapixel camera, and I really like to do photos with that. And this kind of compositions, like outside, is very inspiring for me. I like abstract art myself because abstract art is not that clear. I like that. I think art has to produce questions and not answers. And I think why I'm doing this abstract thing, but also with figurative, with clear motives sometimes, because I want this connection, this opposites of things to appear. I just one more thing. One very important thing for me is when or if some paintings of me look like they're completely abstract and without anything inside, then you're wrong, because there's always something inside. I'm always putting concrete things in it, but the level of clearness is different. Sometimes I don't want to show what I have painted, and then they are really like very complex and with very many layers. But sometimes they are more or less clear. Like this bird series, I think everybody can see something like a bird in this kind of painting. Of course, I want to say something with my paintings. For me, there's a lot of meaning in it. As I've said, I really like to work series, like on particular topics. For example, 2 years ago, I've worked on a series with the title Happy End Dystopia. And the question about this series was, do we live in a world which will have a happy end one day? Or do we already live in a dystopia? The series I'm working now, it's like with birds. Problem is it's very hard to translate the title in English, that it also makes sense, because the title of the series is Viele komische Vögel, a lot of strange birds. Like, yeah, because in German, when you say you're a strange bird, it makes more sense, because it means like it's connected to a person who is kind of weird. And this is a metaphor, this kind of serious metaphor. Every bird could be a person of today's society in difficult situations. For example, I've painted a phoenix, like this painting behind. A phoenix, you know, this is a very holy bird, and it's we know it from fairy tales, from Harry Potter. It's a very beautiful bird. There's a reincarnation thing behind the phoenix, and I've painted a phoenix which is in a bowl of soup. So the question here is, do we live in a world where the humans are ready even to eat a phoenix? Another question is, could the idea of eating a phoenix be something like a perpetuum mobile, you know? Because you can always eat it, then it reincarnates, and you can eat it again. I know phoenix are not existing, maybe. But what if we would use phoenixes for factory farming? This kind of questions I have, or I want to answer for myself, show a little bit kind of my humor or way of thinking. This is what I want to show in my art. I'm working on several exhibitions, like actually in the year 2024 I had my 10th anniversary of having exhibitions. I think the easiest way to find my paintings is to look for my name in the internet. It's Wadim Hermann. Then you will find all kinds of social media. You can find my online shop and my website. And I guess the best way is to write me directly to me or to visit in one of my studios. At this stage, I can say that this is a painting. No?